Good evening, everybody. It's Warren. Hope you all are well.
Good evening.
Good evening, Warren.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody?
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you.
We should be having a pretty short meeting today. We only have on the agenda an update from Alexandra because she has not provided an update. Actually, we have not asked her to provide an update in quite a while. So I thought it'd be time to find out what's happening with the Empire Boulevard project, since the weather seemed to have caused it to be delayed.
Good evening,
And-
everyone. We did actually, because of the weather, switch from our sort of roadway restoration operations near Utica to underground sewer replacement over by Franklin Ave.
Okay. I'm looking. I was just looking to see, forgive me for not having my camera on, but I'm actually on the road in my car having this meeting. So I was looking to see if we had a quorum of members.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, we'll give it a few more minutes. And we can just allow the Alexandra to give her report and move on. Like I said, it's not going to be a long meeting. There's nothing else on the agenda. And I'm not going to hold it up longer than I have to. How you doing, Alexandra? I miss you.
I'm doing well. How are you doing? I miss you too.
Good. Good. I'm sure you miss the excitement of the transportation committee meeting.
I definitely do miss the transportation committee meetings. The district service cabinet meetings are nowhere near as interesting.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to come this evening and give us an update. So
No problem.
it is 7:05. So I am going to go ahead and begin this meeting. Respect everyone's time, including my own as I'm driving. And just welcome you back.
Sorry,
to,
Carmen, did you say you were driving?
Yeah. I'm actually on the road.
That doesn't seem safe.
Well, I'm not,
as-
I do have Bluetooth.
Well, every study has shown that Bluetooth or looking at your phone are just as dangerous. And I don't really want to be part of your having an accident or a crash.
Well, I'm actually getting ready to pull over into this red stop.
I'm much more comfortable with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't want you to get hurt.
No, neither do I.
Okay, good.
All right.
Welcome, everyone.
I
Happy to
am
join.
parked. I am parked.
Thank you.
So we have Paco is on. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we have enough members to just go ahead and begin. So again, welcome back. See, I'm parked. Look, Paco, there's no
I can see.
motion. I am safely parked.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome everyone, Alexandra, and all of the committee members that are on, and any community residents that are joining us. Welcome, and thank you for coming. If you are new to this meeting, you can put I don't think there's a chat room, but I think everybody here has been to our meeting before. Yeah. Okay. So again, in the interest of time and my safety, so that Paco can rest assured that I'm safe, I'm just going to go ahead and begin this meeting. So welcome, Alexandra. I'm gonna open the floor for you to give us your update.
Okay. So hello, everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Alexandra. I'm the Community Construction Liaison for the reconstruction of Empire Boulevard. I have moved from attending the transportation meetings to attending service cabinet meetings. So I'm here to provide an update. You guys haven't heard from me in a long time. I do have a summary prepared for you guys. So there was an inquiry about the fact that the work is still going on. And I believe the last time I attended the meeting, our expected completion date was October of 2021.
Right.
We have received a time extension. Our new completion date is expected for the fall of 2022. That was stated in our fourth quarter newsletter, which would have probably gone out sometime around October, September, end of September-ish. So we have a time extension to November 2022. That was due to COVID restrictions. It was due to weather conditions. It was due to a bunch of factors that caused delays. And we did need to extend the timeline for the project. The contractor, as I mentioned earlier, was working sort of surface level activities on the east side location, which is Utica, Schenectady, Empire, Lefferts sort of area. That work was completed at the end of 2021. And then once that work was completed, due to the cold weather and the completion of the removal and relocation of utility interferences by Con Edison, our operations then moved from the east side to the west side, the corner of Franklin Avenue and Empire Boulevard, where they are currently doing sewer replacement operations. Once they complete their sewer replacement operations, they will be moving to Franklin Avenue between Empire Boulevard and Sullivan Place to do sewer replacements as well as water main replacements. Now, that work is going to require temporary roadway closures, which is obviously something that's of interest to the Transportation Committee. We have not yet made all of the decisions about the roadway closure. We are still in communication with the Department of Transportation to get the permutation and all of the sort of paperwork sorted out for us to be able to do a roadway closure. That roadway closure would only be effective during our work hours on weekdays, Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the work would continue that required a roadway closure for approximately 4 to 6 weeks. The roadway closure will also require parking restrictions, and community advisories will be distributed for both individually for a roadway closure and for parking restrictions to the email list and to the sort of surrounding area. And then once we have some consistently warmer weather, we'll be moving back to the east end to be completing that surface level activity, roadway restoration, sidewalk replacement. We have some bump outs that still need to be constructed on the east end. There was an inquiry about pedestrian safety in the construction zone. The contractor utilizes pedestrian barricades and signage to intermittently close crosswalks and portions of the roadway where work is occurring. They also have flaggers directing both pedestrians and cars, but it's usually pedestrians, I believe. Cars is just sort of like in an emergency situation. I'm not sure about those sorts of boundaries, but we have flaggers for the pedestrians. If a community member ever observes what they believe to be an unsafe condition on our construction site, they can and should contact me. My phone number is 646-630-0464. And if anybody wants me to repeat that when I'm done with this, just let me know. So yes, my contact information is available on all of our deliverables. It's on our weekly bulletins, it's on the newsletter, it's on every single one of our advisories. As the CCL, one of my goals is to have as open of a relationship with the community as possible. I want the community to know that they can reach me with any of their concerns or questions about this project. So again, if there's any concerns about pedestrian safety in our work zones, the community members can and should give me a call. And we had one last inquiry about whether the work will, in our work on the west end,
Quick
will
question.
include the installation of bump outs. I'm sorry, somebody had a question?
Yeah, I can wait till the end, but I'll just wait. We'll do it at the end.
Okay,
Thanks.
no problem. Okay, so we had an inquiry about whether the work will include the installation of bump outs, which are meant to enhance pedestrian safety, but the concern was that it would impact the possibility for a future extension to the Empire Boulevard bike lane, which currently ends at Bedford Avenue. And the hope is that the extension would go west from Bedford Avenue all the way to the park. As far as bike lanes, I cannot speak to the installation or expansion of the Empire Boulevard bike lane, but I can give you the information that we have one bump out will be installed at the northeast corner of Empire Boulevard and Washington Avenue for those pedestrians traveling south across Empire Boulevard. And then one bump out will be installed at the northeast corner of Empire Boulevard and Franklin Avenue for those crossing west across Franklin Avenue. And with that, all of the requests for information that I received in the lead up to this meeting, I've hopefully addressed all of them. If anybody has any questions about the topics that I spoke about or any additional questions about the project, I would be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
Could you just give those corners again that the bump outs will be at? You said the northeast corner?
Yeah, give me just one
Oh.
second. Let me pull up the little diagram that they gave me
Thank you.
just to double check that information. So it was the northeast corner of Empire Boulevard and Washington Avenue for those pedestrians traveling south across Empire Boulevard. And then the other one was the northeast corner of Empire Boulevard and Franklin Avenue for those crossing west across Franklin Avenue.
Great. Thank you so much, Alejandra, for your
Hi,
update.
Virginia.
No,
I'm muted. Am I muted?
No, but
Oh.
Warren has a question.
Okay, before you ask a question, because I am on my phone and I'm not able to see everything, please identify yourself and your affiliation when you ask your question. Warren,
Okay.
First
my name
Vice
is
Chair.
Warren Burke. I'm the first vice chair of CV9. So Alejandra, first of all, thank you for your report. I read
problem.
today in the Times is going to be a new method to slow people down called raised crosswalks.
Mhm.
And are you aware of that?
Raised crosswalks? No, I've not heard of that before.
Okay, well, basically what they're doing is they're raising the crosswalks 4 inches.
Mhm,
So cars slow down. I guess it becomes a speed bump. I'm just, I read in the news today. So could you find out if any of those are planned, especially in the area where you're doing all this construction? Because there's 100 being constructed. They've identified 1,000 crosswalks that are dangerous.
mhm.
So if you could take a look to see how that affects us, it would be terrific.
Okay, I can double check that information, but as far as I am aware, the crosswalks that are being refinished, installed by our project, are not raised crosswalks. We
No, I
are
would agree.
installing, I'm sorry?
I said I would agree. Because after listening to you and knowing the cycles that DOT does to implement the contract, this is going to be something in addition to what we're doing.
So just for clarification, you would like me to inquire if it is a possibility to include raised crosswalks in our reconstruction activities. Is that correct?
Correct. And what else is planned for Crown Heights South?
What else is planned for Crown Heights South? Okay, I can look into that for you. In terms of changes to current contracts that are underway, those typically do not occur. So if raised crosswalks are not already part of the construction plans for the reconstruction of Empire Boulevard, it's not likely to become something that they add on to the project, but it is
Okay.
definitely something that I will be able to ask them about and confirm that for you.
Right, as well as, are we going to have any of those in our district?
The raised, I'll see if I can find out for you.
Terrific, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I believe Stanley had a question.
It was just a quick question about the actual location of the road closure, and if I'm remembering right, your project doesn't go south of Lefferts, correct? So
No.
everything south of there has nothing to do with your project. There's no water
No.
connection or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Great.
Our project does go, so Lefferts ends before our project goes south of it, if that
True.
makes sense.
True. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, Alexandra, following up on Warren's inquiry, we had been discussing with Diana during her presentation on behalf of DOT, inquiring about crosswalk on Washington Ave at the intersection of Washington and Sterling Street. She wasn't sure if crosswalk marking was part of the ongoing project.
Washington and Sterling Street.
Right, because now what's happening is that there's a new school. There's a school at, I think the address is like 1005. It's right across from the parking lot to Western Beef. It's called the
Yes.
Workshop Middle School.
Yes, I'm familiar. I have been trying to get some contact information for them actually.
Oh, actually, well, I can get you that. I can email you contact information because my block is right there on Sterling Street, and the principal or administrator for the school actually attended our block association meeting because we're trying to get the children engaged in projects on our block with our gardening committee. And so then, as well as one of the residents on the block raised the issue of safety for the students because of the lack of crosswalk. So we asked Diana, but she was not sure if that was included in the whole plan for the reconstruction. So, that would be helpful. I know Warren was talking about the raised crosswalk, and quite frankly, I don't even, if Brooklyn gets any of those, I'll be shocked. But at least we do want to make sure that there is some kind of markings, some crosswalk markings at that intersection for those children's safety.
Okay. Give me just 1 second. I think the diagram that they gave me might include that information. So we're looking at striping at the intersection of Washington Avenue and Sterling Street. I'm assuming crossing Washington Avenue is the concern.
Right.
It does not look like our plan includes the painting of crosswalk lines across Washington Avenue at Sterling Street.
Okay. So what can I'm making sure what can we do? I know that there's already a request was put to DOT, and I think they're supposed to do a study in April. So
I mean, as far as I'm familiar with, you are already on the best course of action to have this addressed. As I mentioned previously, the changing of a contract once it's already underway by DDC is, to my knowledge, extremely rare.
Right.
So for it to be something that they add on to our project, though, it seems like a small thing to just paint a crosswalk across Washington Avenue. It's not typically something that they do at DDC. It is something that I can ask about and look into, but as I mentioned, it's extremely rare. In my experience, I haven't necessarily seen it occur. And in terms of alternative methods, besides adding it onto this project, you're already on the best course of action. You're in communication with Diana. We, as I mentioned, you can pass along the information to her. She wants to get in touch with me, and I can send her the information as well about what our plans include. But yes, we are not expecting to paint that crosswalk across Washington Avenue where that new school is located, and the Department of Transportation is the agency that you should follow up with to get those lines painted.
Okay, no, we'll do that, but I just threw it out there just in case.
Right.
I think Valerie had her hands up.
Yes, I'm concerned about the east side project, part of the project. I'm noticing for myself, when I'm coming down, I don't know, is that East New York Avenue at the White Castle, where you closed off the street there? And the traffic is going eastbound to go across Utica. And if I'm going westbound, I think there's a stop sign there. I'm noticing that I have to kind of inch out really far out into the area, because when I try to look back, sometimes my view is obstructed there for whatever reason, and I really can't see the cars. And a couple of times when I came through there, I'm thinking I'm good, but then here comes the cars. They're like right up on me. So I'm wondering if they could maybe take a look at it to see the distance, because it just seems as if I have to keep looking back, and I'm a little cautious when I'm coming out there at that stop sign. Now that we have just the eastbound lane going on the Utica side, we'll say, by, I guess there's a car dealership or something there maybe on that corner. And then when I'm coming from the White Castle, because I'm usually really seeing that when I'm coming from the White Castle versus when I'm coming down, I guess, East New York. Because are they both East New York? What are those streets? Are they both East New York? Like one is up and one
yeah, the East New York branches off into two. And then the southern branch ends at Remsen, and then the northern branch continues, merges with Empire Boulevard, and continues as East New York Avenue.
Right. So if I'm going west, coming from like the White Castle, the Family Dollar is on my right, it seems that stop sign is a little difficult with visibility. So I don't know if there's a way you could like check it out or see what's happening. Because a couple of times when I came out, next thing I know, the traffic was right there. And I was like, I was looking, I didn't see anybody. So I don't know if there's just something you can check out.
So we're referring, just to specify, to the crosswalk at where East New York Avenue branches out.
Where White Castle is going west, the other side is going east. When you get to the stop sign that y'all installed, that's what I'm talking about, right there, right where that stop sign is. It seems like a couple of times when I thought that I was good, I wasn't really good, because here's this car now. So I'm not sure if my visibility is blocked a little bit there at that corner when I'm looking, because I have to look over my left shoulder to try to make sure I'm good to get out there.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So I'm wondering what's happening over there, why I have to turn around so far. And, you know, a couple of times, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if anybody, you know, if y'all like that new configuration, which isn't a problem, but it's just like, it seems like there's something missing or something. I don't know if the people need to slow down before they get to the stop. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a couple more safety improvements that are going to be installed on Utica Avenue. That it might be like a residual effect of the changes, but that sort of intersection where that stop sign is, and they pushed out the sidewalk behind the car dealership area to create that crosswalk. That area, as far as I'm aware, is done, but it might be a residual effect from the stuff that we have not yet completed on Utica at like Empire or at East New York and Utica. It might be a residual effect that will be solved once we you know, have all of our bump outs installed and completed.
Okay, maybe so, because I was like, why is it that I'm missing something? It's like I'm missing something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's only so much that we can do to prevent cars from speeding, taking turns too fast, approaching stop signs too fast. Maybe it's a residual effect of people who are familiar with the area not realizing that there's a stop sign there now. You know, it could be a bunch of different factors, but we do have a couple of more safety measures that are expected to be installed in the area.
Very good. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
No problem.
I think Paco had his hand up.
Yes, so just a couple things. One, to Warren's question about the raised crosswalks. I believe they're not doing any of that. I think it's just 100. It should be in all 5 boroughs, so Brooklyn will get some, but it's not going to be anywhere that a bus would go. And I think on all of the intersections at Empire and Franklin, Washington, you have buses crossing. So I doubt that there would be anything right there. Of course, I am also curious to know where else in the district we may get some of them. But as for the pedestrian, I'm very much looking forward to the project being done. I find the intersection has been very just dangerous, whether I'm driving or on foot or on bike or anything. It's a big intersection and there's many different lanes. So I'm looking forward to it being completed. I get that the construction vehicles and equipment and the people, even with flaggers, like everyone's doing their best, but it still is pretty messy, even with someone trying to direct traffic. I think also what is part of the mess is that it almost seems like there's different road texture. Like some of the crosswalks there feel like brick pattern from 100 years ago. Some is just 20
Some of
different
them are
construction
cobblestone.
projects have been. Yeah, so I'm curious. I get you're doing, not you, but the DDC is doing the underground work right now. You know, it's not as noticeable. Many times people might not think anything's happening, but sewer lines and the water mains and like the stuff underground is got to be done first, and then they can do the repair on top. But knowing that we all want to see the project done properly, but done, what are the crosswalks actually going to look like, and how smooth, frankly, will they be for the cars driving past, especially for the pedestrians going past? I know I'm pushing a stroller very often, and it is just hairy. It doesn't matter how many people are flagging me down. Like I'm hitting every bump left and right, and it's been like that for a long time. So I guess in the end, in November 2022, hopefully there's no further delays, what are the crosswalks actually going to look like? If they're not going to be raised crosswalks like Warren had mentioned, and they're just going to be, I guess, standard New York City crosswalks now, even that, there are multiple kinds. So you mentioned the bump outs, the 2 that will happen, those will help and will narrow the distance for pedestrians and improve some sight lines. But, you know, how smooth are we talking a roadway will there be?
I am unsure if they're going to be milling and repaving the entirety of the width of Empire Boulevard. I could look into that for you. That's a question that I can get a definite yes or no answer to from my superiors.
Okay.
So I can find out if they'll be doing a full mill and repave of Empire Boulevard, like the whole width of Empire Boulevard. As far as contract requirements, the contractor is required to restore their trench, and basically anything that they touch, anything that they excavate, they put a shovel in the ground, an excavator, whatever, anything that they touch, they have to restore to the condition it was in prior to construction or better.
Hopefully better, because it was in bad condition at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's usually better because of the fact that we're often going into areas that have like pocked roadways and stuff that's a little bit aged. So we are going to be definitely anything, as I said, anything they touch, our trench area, as it's referred to, gets a full restoration. I will check whether we are going to be repaving the length or the width, I'm sorry, of Empire Boulevard.
And I mean, Empire goes, I know your projects are Empire, the project is Empire Boulevard and it's kind of 2 different ends. I mean, I would encourage, if it can't be entirely redone, then
No.
at least those corners, or those 2 sections, like, and 50 feet on either side or something, because I think public opinion, I mean, everyone on this Zoom is somewhat in the know of the many years this project has been in the books, and we've debated it, and it's project's many years old already. But
Right.
we even know that, right? I think the average person, friends of mine that live in the area and walk past, they're like, realistically, they're like, what the hell's going on? Why can't the city
Right.
just like fix a road? And I think,
Mhm.
I get that you're doing underground work, and it is a fix for the better, for the future. The pipes will last another 100 years kind of thing. But I think
Mhm.
public opinion will be the city can't do anything right if it is left even remotely looking the way that it was. And you
Mhm.
say better, but like it should look like a
Mhm.
brand new street, I think, considering the years that the neighborhood
That
has had
is-
to enjoy.
That is the goal, that it is going to be a beautifully restored area. There is also going to be landscaping at the pedestrian plazas where we're working at, in addition to the reconstruction of the sidewalks. I'll find out for you guys the areas where we're expected to do a repaving of like a curb to curb area. So like if we're talking about Washington Avenue and Empire Boulevard, like are we doing from the east curb to the west curb? Are we doing from the north curb to the south curb? I'll find out for you where we're expected to do those repavements of the roadway. Yeah.
Great, thank you. so
Thank you
much.
again.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
Alexander. And I think, William, if you can identify yourself and ask your question.
There we go. There. Yep. Hi, I'm William. I was on the call last week, my first one. I'm just jumping in slowly here. I was just while you were discussing the school zone or the new crosswalk there at Washington and Sterling, it just kind of it made me think: is there anything else we need to do as a community to like in addition, if that's a new school, like a new school zone designation, or like speed cameras, or like I know some of the schools are getting the crosswalks are getting like a button to push. If there's anything else we need to, I'm asking like the committee, if there's anything else we need to do in addition to the crosswalk for that new school.
Actually, that's a very good question and suggestion, because we actually have discussed the crosswalk at a couple of meetings, but I don't think that we ever thought about having it designated a school zone. So thank you for bringing that up. And we will definitely look into that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is why we need community residents to come on, because the more minds that work together, the
So,
more we accomplish.
So like, where does that go? Like, is that like you take care of that, or how does that work now that I've brought it up, just out of curiosity?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I'll communicate with the agency and make the request, and they'll get back to us and tell us one way or the other. They'll either, tell us that they studied it already, or that they will study it and get back to us with their determination.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Felice?
Yeah, just before I take Felice's question, I just wanted to mention very quickly, in terms of the repaving concern, don't quote me on this, but one of the things that often occurs is once a DDC infrastructure project has been completed, as ours is infrastructure, it's underground, it's the water mains, it's the sewers. Once a DDC infrastructure project has been completed, if repaving is not part of the contract of the infrastructure, oftentimes DOT comes and does milling and repaving sometime within the next year or so of the project being complete. I don't know what the timeline is, but oftentimes DOT comes and does a milling and paving after we've completed an infrastructure project. So in the event that we don't have certain locations, a curb to curb repavement, that would be a follow-up with DOT.
Great, thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem. And
Alexandra. Please.
police.
Hi, yes, this is Felice. Hi, Alexandra. I was trying to understand
Hello.
your position here. So you're dealing with the replacement of the pipelines, and am I correct to ascertain that?
We are doing the replacement of sewers, the replacement of water mains. We are doing curb and sidewalk reconstruction in select areas. We are doing the installation of curb bump outs, pedestrian bump outs at intersections at particular locations. They are also doing some restriping. And we are also doing some lighting work,
Okay,
which is the street lights.
okay, I would need your phone number. You said 646?
630 046 0464.
0464. Okay, 646-630-0464. All right, so I'm asking you this is because on Washington Avenue, it never fails. There is a pothole that's in front of 941 Washington Avenue. And they're always replacing that pipe. Are you familiar with that? Do you get notification of that?
941 Washington Avenue. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
Let me see if that's within our project area.
Because the pipe, the water, DEP comes out and the pipe constantly bursts, the water seeps through, and it creates such a big pothole. And if you come out today, you will see the remnants of it, you know, and maybe something is starting up again, okay? Because they never seem to manage to fix this. Okay.
So unfortunately, 941 Washington Avenue is just north of our project location. Our northernmost, it's where we stop at Sullivan on Washington.
Okay, right. So, you stopped at Sullivan. See, that was my next question too, because you don't deal with, you said you stopped at Sullivan. So what can I do to put cross lines along Montgomery because of this pending issue of cars speeding through and not having any regards to the pedestrians that crosses north and south?
Okay, let me jump in because we are now getting off the committee's agenda. That is something, Felice, what you are discussing are issues that we discussed with Diana. Alexandra is here to update on the Empire Washington Franklin project and over there on Utica in East New York. So she has nothing to do with street repaving as a whole or anything. So that is something that you will have to basically, which I believe has been already discussed with Diana repeatedly, but that's out of Alexandra's
rim.
Oh, yeah. She's dealing with the Empire project specifically.
I see. Okay, that's why I asked. All right. I thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So does anybody have any other questions with regards to the Empire Washington Franklin project?
Well, let me ask, I'm sorry, let me interrupt for a moment. So let me ask Carmen, who can I get to address the pothole because they're dealing with the pipeline? Just DEP? It just goes to DEP? Or can this be brought up here as well? I don't know.
Well, if from what I'm understanding that you're saying, the pothole comes about as a result of some kind of issue with the sewer. right? Which
Mhm.
means that DEP will have to deal with that issue. And then, you know, as part as part of their whole project, whatever contract they put out to deal with that issue, then that street will be resurfaced. But if there is a DEP issue, no matter how many times DOT refills that pothole, the issue is going to continue until that pipe situation or that sewer situation is taken care of. So this is something that and Mia is on. It will have to be referred first to DEP for them to come back and let us know how they're going to deal with the situation. And there are other areas throughout the city that have the same problem. You know, you can resurface the street, but if the sewer pipes, if there's issues on the ground, you're going to continue to have this pothole resurface and the cave-ins. If water is just constantly running underground or pipe bursting or things like that. So Mia,
Yes,
and
definitely.
I believe, which committee is environmental?
Yeah, Mr. Christian LeBeau's committee.
Right,
But
his
Felicia, you can
committee.
definitely reach out to the office in the morning and we can discuss a way to get in contact with our DEP liaison to assist you with that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you
Sure.
can also go to the environmental committee meeting and raise that issue so that they also do follow up.
Thank you,
Okay,
Carmen. I appreciate that.
you're welcome.
I believe
So,
Paco had another inquiry.
Paco?
Yeah, I was just curious because we last saw the actual presentations. Are there new renderings that could be shared as to what the pedestrian area will look like, or just any new visuals that might be useful?
So I have not been provided with any new visuals by DDC of how the area is supposed to look. I will ask my superiors if any renderings are currently available or if any can be created. Any renderings that we've seen in previous meetings, I should say, have been created by me and just sort of like approved by DDC. But in terms of that like landscaping that I mentioned, that would be a rendering that I would need to ask DDC for, and I will do so.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Great. So it doesn't seem to be any further questions for you, Alexandra. So I just want to thank you again for coming this evening and providing us with an update.
No
And
problem.
I will follow up with you with regards to the other issues that were brought up. And perhaps you can come to our April meeting and provide that update as well. Okay?
Sure.
So
Okay.
thank you so
And-
much. Yes.
And I just wanted to state for everybody, again, my phone number is 646-630-0464. My email address is empireblvd.ccl@gmail.com. So Empire Boulevard CCL@gmail.com. Please contact me if you have any questions or concerns about the project. As a private citizen, you are, it doesn't have to be with the Transportation Committee. If it's something that you would prefer to bring up with the Transportation Committee, obviously you should do so. But if you just have a quick question about what's going on at this intersection, when is that going to be done, please give me a call. I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Great. Thank you so much. And again,
No problem.
enjoy the rest of your evening. And it was a pleasure to see you.
It was
Like I
nice
said,
to speak to all of you.
Good. We miss you. So thank you so much.
No problem.
So are there any other items that the committee wishes to?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I know that a lot of the district is on the schedule for city bikes for this year. And I know they have a whole workshop process that they go through, but we haven't heard anything yet. Have you?
No, I don't even think that the board has received any email because they normally forward it to me and I have not seen anything. Mia?
Can we check in with them?
No, we
did
haven't received any updated notices, but I'll definitely reach out and
Great, thank
I'll
you.
confirm with Dante as well.
Great.
Great.
Is there a update on the status of the bike racks for the Major Owens Community Center?
Hey Valerie, yeah, Dante followed up with Diana at the DOT. She did update him directly, but I don't think I was copied on the email. So if you want to give me a call in the morning, I'll reach out to you. We can touch base.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Sure.
I'd like to propose that we do a walk next month. We haven't done one since 2019. And it's one thing to talk about different, issues dealing with transportation problems in our district over, a meeting. But it's another thing to actually go out and observe it. And I know some of you have attended walks in the past. So would anybody be interested in joining a walk on a Sunday in early to mid-April so that we can walk through the district, we can identify different problems hands-on, and we can patronize a business afterward, a bar or a restaurant if people feel comfortable doing so. It'll be a good team building exercise. What is everyone's thoughts?
Sure.
I like it.
Carmen, would you
What
want to?
Sunday and what time?
So I can send out a doodle poll of a few Sundays and everyone
Okay.
can vote which one and which time frames work. I'm assuming that some people want to do it after church, right? If anyone here goes to church. I mean, I'll send out a doodle poll to everybody. And then y'all can vote.
Great.
Okay,
Thanks,
Great.
Cal.
thank you. So everybody look out for the email from Kalista and give her your feedback. I know that we have done this numerous times because even Khalid have prepared schedule and there was a Google Doc and there was all kinds of stuff going around and we had decided a couple of times, yes, we were going to do it and it didn't take off. So maybe this time it will happen for real.
I gotta be honest that it's a nice idea to have the walks and to get together to fellowship. But I really would like to see, some results of some of the things that we've identified in the past that need to be addressed so that it shows that we're really focusing and getting an outcome. Because it's cool to go together and it was good to really walk around and actually see, because each of us have a different perspective of things we see in our area. And, we brought some things to the table. So I'm hoping that at least this time that we can work together to get one or two of the items off the list. Because I know Paco had been talking about stuff at the bus stop. I guess, what was it, the bus stop, the trash is collecting and the catch basins and stuff,
That was
so
finally fixed.
it's finally, yay, that's a good thing. But, I'm down with Miss Callista. She, it sounds good, but I want to really be able to say, hey, we did A, B, and C.
I totally agree. It all depends on these agencies, DOT, we send so many lists. And, I think we went through 2 DOT reps since we started doing the walks in 2018. So yeah, I agree. We have to be persistent and continuously be on top of them. Another good thing is that, we have a really awesome new city councilwoman, or 2 awesome new city councilwomen, Crystal Hudson on the Crown Heights side of the district. And then we also have Rita Joseph on the Flatbush side. So they're all very supportive of transportation, safety. And I think looping them in to also put fire in DOT's ass will, pardon my French, will help to speed along some of the things that we're asking for. And we're gonna have a new assembly person filling in for Diana Richardson's old seat soon. So I'm pretty optimistic that we'll be able to steamroll ahead this time.
Great. So again, thank you, Kalista. And again, everybody, please look out for the email from Kalista and provide your feedback so that we can go ahead. And the weather is getting nice, so there's going to be pleasant, good Sundays to do this walk. So thank you. If nobody else has any further comments, suggestions, or discussions, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I was just curious if, how do we, is there any, how do we know what we've, like, follow up to what we've talked about in previous meetings? Like, I guess why I thought about it is I was walking by the library today and I was curious if Paco's pedestrian ramps were in. It looked like maybe there was something there now.
I didn't walk there this week, so I didn't see it, but I would love that.
But I was just curious, like that, like how do, like, I'm just kind of spitballing, like how do we know like where we're at with the issues that we bring? Is that on like the board website, or is there, should we have like a part of the end of the meeting where we maybe build off of or talk about what we spoke about in the prior month's meeting?
Well,
Hey,
normally the agency reps come back and give us an update on the issues that we raised. And I know that Diana is aware of the curb cuts that Paco raised, the potholes, the potholes actually, because I know Felisa raised those issues again, as well as the crosswalk. So normally what we'll do is prepare like a list, kind of like an Excel sheet of the issues that have been raised, and send it to the agency rep and have them fill in the status, and then come back to the next meeting and present. So I didn't have Diana come this evening because we had not had an update about Empire, the Empire reconstruction. So I wanted us to concentrate on that today, this evening. For the April meeting, we will definitely have Diana come back, and all the issues that have been raised, we will expect to have a status report as to where DOT stands on those issues and what's to be done. So that's normally how we
Excuse
do.
me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, including that flooding area. I can't remember what street it is, where the people said that there was a catch basin or something at one point, but then they did construction and repaved the street and now the houses flood out. Remember that?
That's Midwood Street.
That's-
If anyone has any other questions, just email them over so that I can compile them with Carmen.
Okay.
Any other old
So-
issues that you remember that we need to follow up, please forward it to the board office.
So Valerie, that is a capital project which we submitted as part of the need assessment and the budget request from the board.
Mhm.
So when the board gets the response back, it will lay out what the agency's response is with regards to the reconstruction of that street. Because as I understand it, they claim that the homeowners say that there were sewers there, catch basins. DOT and DEP are saying, DEP is saying there's no record of it. So there's a back and forth as to whether or not there were ever catch basins there to begin with. And it seems that the street is kind of sloped in it's a defect with the street that causes the water to pool at certain sites based on the extensive communication that was had with Councilwoman Alika Ampry Samuel, or should say former Councilwoman Alika Ampry Samuel, about it. And her staff also gave us update when they came to our transportation committee meeting. And that's how we found out that it's more than a repair, it's an actual reconstruction project that DOT claims is going to run upwards of 5 million. So that's why it was included in the budget request for the need assessment. So we, from what we have not gotten a response that I know of, because I have not seen it. And when we get that response, the agency will tell us item by item what their determinations are, and then we can repute it and move forward and ask for the funding and solicit support from the elected official. That's how that works. But that's not a simple repair. That's a reconstruction project.
Right, and it's just that it's been going on for what, 10, 15 years now?
A long time before they
Right.
even came. It's been going on before they even brought it to our attention.
Right, so, it's just throwing it back out there,
Yeah.
see, how we can help, because it's a quality of life issue, it's a property owner thing there. So if we can champion something, if we can get some elected official to break down and take ownership, because it's been like, what, 5, 6, 7 elected officials later, and the people are still suffering. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there, not trying to make any waves or something, but at some point, we got to just take the bite out of the elephant and eat them up and just make it happen, because it's like 20 years we got to deal with this, but thank God it's not happening on my block. But it's Brooklyn. Brooklyn is one of the biggest and the best areas in the whole country, and we should be able to come up with something, because I'm sure they found $5 million to do something else, that some beautification of the block when it's 5 minutes from Prospect Park, but you can't get but okay, I don't want to get on my soapbox and stuff.
It's a multi-agency issue. It's not, it's DEP and DOT. And
Right.
they all point the finger at the other and pass the buck.
So maybe our new mayor will help us out.
Maybe, but those things have not been neglected. We just went through the proper channel, and the proper
Okay.
channel was to submit it for funding as a capital project. So
Fantastic.
like I said, it's not a repair issue. It's a funding issue.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, Carmen, it's Warren. I just want to answer William's question directly.
Mhm.
William, what I do is that I read the minutes of the meeting and I note the things spoken about, and then I will ask about each one at the next meeting. So while the community board will follow up, it's also important that you note the issues that are important to you and for you to follow up. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I was just curious as to just going back to what Valerie said about, instead of just bringing up a bunch of issues ad hoc, there's nothing we're going to say here that's going to get done just because we said it one time here. So you kind of got to keep going and just to keep track of everything and see where we're at with stuff. For example, I kind of want to ask about, I think there was someone on the meeting who said about there was a pipe store somewhere in Crown Heights that was causing major traffic delays, and I think it was you who said that was
Yeah, that's a police
where are we at with that?
enforcement.
Did you reach out to the police and that's dealt with? What happened? You know what I mean?
We're waiting for feedback. See, the thing about it is that we can raise an issue at one meeting, and sometimes we're not going to have an answer by the next meeting,
Right.
because we have to wait for them to do whatever it is that they need to do, and then they get back to us and say, oh yeah, this has been resolved, or we tried, we did this, we did the other. So you're talking about that Y&R or Y&S plumbing on Rogers Avenue. And again, that has also been a long-standing issue. That's nothing new with the parking between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., which is supposed to be no parking at all. And instead it's double parking.
Carmen, that's correct, but William, you keep your list and keep talking about it.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
It's not just the parking over there, YNS, the trash and stuff that they live in, the debris from their area. It's like all over the street. I guess there's the little plastic things that hold down some of their supplies. They leave all over the ground. It's a mess over there. It really, really, really is over there. So I'm not sure who follows up with them, but they have all their stuff. They leave overnight on the street, like in some little construction area. It's a mess over there. And that's
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is. And like I said, follow-up is done by the office, follow-up is done by me and anybody else on the committee, like Paco. Paco is very good about lighting fire under people's feet and sending emails. And sometimes it's helpful to me because there's certain things that he remembered that I forget. So it's contingent on all of us on this committee to do what we need to do to make things work. That's what committee is about.
I
Working
can
together.
certainly contribute to that. I work for OATH, Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings. If you see it coming from there, to have an employee requesting this is on the committee, I think that would help as well.
Yep. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, wait,
again,
excuse me, Carmen.
mhm.
Hey, Carmen, can I either send the doodle poll to you or Mia to send out to the whole group? Because I don't have everyone's emails.
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
send it over
send it.
to me
You
so
can send it to me, so that they
Send it
know
to me.
she can send it to the committee and anybody else on this. It doesn't have to be just the committee. Any community member that's on this committee meeting can also partake.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'll send it to you, Mia.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So based on tonight's attendance, William and anybody else that's on that's not a committee member is more than welcome to join the walk.
I want to also add that, William, if you're interested in this, come September, we'll be requesting resident members to the committee, and by all means apply. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Warren. So I believe that we were on the way to adjournment. So again, thanks everyone for coming to the meeting. Thank you to Alexander. Thank you to William and any other community resident. I apologize for not calling your name, but again, I'm on my phone and I don't have a full view. But thank you so much for coming. Hope to see you at next month's meeting. And if there's anything that you think of after you get off the meeting that you could have brought up, please email the board and let them know, and they will share the information. And we will surely look after whatever issue you raise this evening to make sure we get you some answers. So, and bear with us. As I said, sometimes you don't get the answer in a month. It might take 6 months, but we do the best we can. So thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
Good night.
Have
Shout
a-
out to Jeff. We didn't hear Jeff Granum tonight. Shout out to Jeff.
yeah.
Shout out to
I see him
everybody.
in the
I'm here.
house. Oh, yeah, I saw you in the house,
So-
and happy birthday, Jeff.
Oh, it's his birthday?
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
No, well, it's not yet.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Coming up.
coming to Pisces.
Okay.
Coming up.
Finger-shaped projections from the
Hey,
surface.
good night,
So-
everyone.
Again, good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Thank you for
A
having.
lot of blood and lymph capillaries. So